Good evening. My name's Chef Gary. I come from England. My mother's Emirati and my father's English. You must forgive my lack of Arabic. So tonight, Mr. Mohammed is going to translate a few things what we're going to do this evening. We're going to start with a basic kafta dish, which you'll all enjoy, and you'll see some different changes to Saudi dishes.
How are you, Mr. Gary?
I'm fine, Mr. Mohammed. Yeah.
So you are saying that you are from Emirates, or
My mother was. I actually live in Scotland now, but I've moved to Saudi Arabia, and it's absolutely amazing. I love the country, and I'm going to stay here. So you'll be seeing a lot more of me, hopefully. I work within a catering company within Riyadh, and what we're doing is we're improving the food around the area and hopefully the country, opening new restaurants and new coffee shops, specially designed for females. So with new nutritious food, the food's going to be fresh, organic and healthy, which we all like.
هو بيقول ان هو والدته هو من اساس اسكتلاندي بس والدته اماراتيه. هو حابب ان هو يجي الدول العربيه عشان يقدم الاكلات الشعبيه العربيه. فالنهارده هو ان شاء الله هيقدم لنا اكلات اماراتيه. What you are going to cook for us, Chef Gary?
This evening I'm going to cook a kafta. It's a lamb kafta, and we're going to use shoulder of lamb. Right? The shoulder's got a lot more fat on it than the leg or the saddle or the breast.
هو النهارده هيقدم لنا المكبوس الاماراتي ومع اللحم. مع اللحم shoulder.
The shoulder.
Yes.
Shoulder. Yeah. A lot more females actually speak English than males in today's society. So it makes it easier for you guys. Okay? We're going to take a knife. What we're using is we're using shoulder, but we're leaving the bone in. Bone's got flavour.
لازم اللحم يكون بالعظم.
So we've pre-cut this, and I'm going to cut it a little bit smaller, right?
هو بس بيقطعها قطع أصغر شوية.
Huh?
He's saying that you are cutting in small pieces.
Because you've only got a small mouth, see? If I cut big pieces, you couldn't get it in your mouth. True? True. But we keep the fat on. Yeah, fat's flavour. We all know this. We can make low-fat versions of this dish. It's quite easy.
يقول هو في انجلترا بيحبوا يستخدموا اللحم اللي فيه فات زياده السمين على عكس هنا الطبق الخليجي.
What chefs generally do is have things pre-cut on stage. We don't like doing this because it's not what happens at home. You don't come home and all your food's pre-cut for you, do you? You have to do it yourself. So that's what we're going to do today. Okay?
So what you are doing now, Chef?
What we're doing is we're heating a pan up. So food sings to us. Yeah? If you put things in a cold pan, it doesn't make any noise, which means it's not happy. If you put it in a hot pan, it sizzles and sparks away, and this gives us color.
يقول ان دايما لازم هو لما بيحب يعمل الاكل لازم يكون القدر دايما بيسخن القدر الاول قبل ما يبتدي يعمل اي حاجه مع الزيت. So what is your ingredients today for this
The
capsule?
ingredients for this dish is we're using diced lamb, shoulder, we're using onions.
اول حاجه اللحم بالعظم والبصل.
We're using cardamom.
وبعد كده الكاردموم الهيل.
Such as cinnamon.
what?
Cinnamon.
وبعد كده القرفه الخشب.
Coriander.
Coriander powder or
such as powder and fresh coriander.
كزبره اللي هي الباودر الناشفه والكزبره الفريش خضراء.
And salt and pepper. And a touch of garlic.
What about do you have a special something to put inside?
A pan.
بيقولوا ان هو الحاجه المميزه اللي عنده الحلل بتاعته.
We can make low-fat versions of this dish. It's quite easy, you know, because we've all got to watch our weight these days, especially chefs. We tend to be eating all the time, and when we eat, we don't eat big meals. We generally eat tasting all day long, tasting. And I don't eat a full meal anymore. You know, it's literally, I'm in pans with spoons, and I've put so much weight on. So we've started developing more low-fat dishes, mainly for my own benefit, so I don't get as large as I do. But we can do this with this dish. We do in many dishes what we use today. You know, in the old days, our parents used to think the more grease we put into something, the better. It's not true, you know. And our mother-in-laws, you know, that our husbands and wives will go on about how good their parents' dishes were, and we try and replicate this.
بيقول دايما بالنسبه للرجاله بيحبوا طبعا الاكل بتاع امهاتهم، فطبعا الستات دايما بتقابل المشكله في ان هي تحاول ترضي جوزها او تحاول تعمل الاكل بالطريقه اللي هو متعود ياكلها من ايام ما كان صغير. فبس طبعا كل واحد المفروض ليه يعني كل واحد ليه اسلوبه في الاكل. So everyone have his own style in food.
Yeah, of course. Back in England, we don't cook a lot of Arabic dishes. You know, we mainly do a fusion of foods now. So we're cooking French food with English, and we cross over and merge it. And this is something you guys can do. You know, you can mix your Arabic cuisine with another style of cuisine and make it your own, make it a bit special. Experiment. Experimentation is what it's all about. Don't be frightened to put something in to a dish which you haven't heard of before. Do it, try it, see what comes out the other side. I do it with ice creams. I make mustard ice creams and savory ice creams, which people think is a bit strange.
بيقول ان هم عندهم في انجلترا دايما ما يعرفوش الاطباق العربيه، بس هم عندهم ميزه ان هو دايما الواحد ما فيش حاجه ثابته في كل اكله. ممكن تحط لو انت حاسس ان حاجه تبقى هتضيف للاكله بتاعتك بالاحساس. هم بيشتغلوا بالاحساس، بيحطوا دايما الحاجات اللي ممكن تكون غريبه بس هم دايما بيستخدموا كده، دي طريقتهم.
So, you know, there's so many different things we can do in today's world. And here, you've got some of the best ingredients in the world coming into the country. You've got some of the best lamb. Someone's squeaking. Some of the best beef. You know, you don't have to use the best cuts of meat or vegetables for everything. It does help. The better the product, the better the taste. But we can make cheaper cuts of meat taste really, really good. So we're saving money as well.
بيقول ان مش شرط دايما ان احنا نستخدم انواع اللحمه اللي بتبقى غاليه جدا او انواع البهارات اللي بتبقى غاليه جدا عشان الاكل يبقى طعمه كويس. ممكن نستخدم حاجات تكون سعرها بسيط بس مع طريقه الطبخ الكويسه بتطلع اكل كويس جدا يعني.
Now I'm going to make some food sing. Yeah, the food should sing. Food is what we give people who we love. Correct? You love your husbands, you love your wives. You feed them because you want to nourish them. Same with our children. This is what we do. So to make food happy, this is what we do. We make it sing.
بيقول دايما ان عندهم الست عشان بتحب جوزها فبتعمل له الاكل. فهناك دايما لازم الست تكون بتحب جوزها عشان تطبخ له، غير كده ما بيعملوش غير طبعا. فعشان كده بتعمل الاكل بطريقه يعني بمحبه، فالاكل بيطلع كويس جدا وجميل.
So we can hear these onions singing away. They're hissing. They're making a lovely, lovely noise. And when they're getting brown, we're getting flavour, right? The more flavour, the better.
البصل دايما لما بيتحط مع الزيت وهو سخن بتستنى لحد ما يبقى لونه غامق عشان الطعم يظهر اكتر في الاكل. What are you putting now?
So in with the onions, I put some black lemon, which is really quite famous around here. I put some bay leaf, some cardamom seeds, and some cinnamon.
هو حط ليمون اسود وورق اللورا والهيل والكمون البودر.
And I'm letting them,
كزبره البودر سوري.
I'm going to let all these flavors immerse in the oil. And what happens is when you put powder, any form of herbs into oil, it's like a seed, it's like this. And when you put it into a hot liquid, be it oil or water, it will expand, it will open up. When it opens up, it releases flavor. So that's why we've got to fry or boil our spices. It's really important to get that flavor out there.
دايما لما التوابل بتتحط على الزيت في الاول عشان تدي الفليفر الطعم.
Does this smell good?
والريحه طبعا.
Come and smell. Come and smell. Come.
Come.
Come smell. Can you see?
شم ايه رايك في الريحه؟
See?
شم كده.
Yeah. Is this like mum? Does mummy do it like this?
زي الاكل اللي بتعمله ماما؟
Yeah.
أيوة.
Really? Huh? So, we let that cook away. And when we put our lamb in, most people boil lamb, and we don't. We want it brown. Brown means flavour, right? So we want it nicely coated when it goes into the dish. And the browner we get it, the more flavour we release. So important.
كل ما البصل بقى لونه بني اكتر كل ما كان الطعم يبقى احسن في الاكل.
So in goes my lamb.
بعدين بنحط اللحم.
Now with this being shoulder, it will take a bit of cooking, as we all know. And when we do this dish, once the lamb goes in, I'm going to cook it in water for about 2 hours. Just a slow heat, very slow heat, just for 2 hours. So it's not falling off the bone, but if you pushed it, it would go. Okay.
I want to ask a question about put the onion over the oil for long period of time until it become brown color.
Yes.
I saw in one of the TV shows that let the food until it's a bit burned on the fire, it can cause cancer. Is that true?
This isn't true. This isn't true. This is not true at all. It's propaganda. In simple terms, all you're doing is when you're browning onions have got a large sugar content, right? So if I put my hand on the stove, it will burn, correct? It won't cause me cancer. What it'll do is it'll make my hand sore. But if I put a carrot on there, it will go black straight away. It's got a large sugar content. Onions have the same sugar content. So when you're browning something or caramelizing, you're releasing sugar content in that vegetable. So don't worry about cancer. Just start smoking something. It's better for you. So the lamb's in here.
وطبعا بيقول ان لازم اللحم يقعد حوالي ساعتين في النار على لحد ما يبقى العظم يخرج منه بسهوله. انت تلمس العظم يطلع على طول.
And if you want to come up and you can see my onions aren't burning on top of a kafta, you generally do put crispy brown onions on the top. It's traditional. And I love the flavour. Does everyone the same? Yeah. I was eating
الريحه واصله لو حد عايز يجي يشم.
It's a good thing. Caramelization is fantastic. We can do it with endive. Endive, is it the same in Arabic, endive? You know, we can caramelize any vegetable we wish. I do it a lot with carrots, aubergines, anything I can get my hands on really, you know. But here it's great. You've got radicchio lettuce. I sometimes pan fry that, and it gets a lovely golden colour. And I serve the lettuce as a fried vegetable, which is a bit different, and it's got a lovely colour. When you're plating up a nice plate of food, you can dress the plate and you can make it look spectacular without really having to think about it. You know, use your colours. use colours in different places.
يقول لك انت لازم تستخدم دايما الالوان في الاكل، اي حاجه ملونه. يعني هو بيحب دايما يحط فلفل، طماطم، بصل، اي حاجه عشان كل ما الاكل كانت الالوان فيه اكتر كل ما كان الطعم يبقى افضل والشكل يبقى احسن.
It's like painting a picture. Now,
اكنك بترسم يعني لوحه.
in Arabia and the Gulf states, food tends to be rice, and rice is a staple diet. But you guys are traveling so much more now, and you're getting into new world cuisines, continental cuisines, European cuisines.
يقول ان دايما في الدول العربيه ودول الخليج
and you want to replicate
متعودين
it.
على اصناف